Hey guys, today we are going to work on drawing this eye, and so I need you to get your digital drawing tablets out. You will need to download this file from our Google Classrooms. You will need to open up a new document in Photoshop. If you already have it open, just go to File and New, and a letter size is fine, 8.5 by 11. So if you're going to go to File, New, and it probably is one of your more recent sizes that'll pop up. Mine's taking a minute. There we go. I want to do landscape like this, so 11 by 8.5 is fine, and we can leave it on RGB for now. Just click create. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my other one that's over here. Don't save. All right, and then if you've gotten this file open, I need you to go ahead and using your move tool, drag it into your new document that you created. It's a little too big, so we'll have to go to edit and transform and scale. I need to zoom out so that I can see it, and I'm going to make that fit inside my canvas a little bit better. Okay, and you can kind of put whatever composition you like. I'm going to do it just about like this. Okay, hit enter or return to get it to set. I now have my photograph, and I also have my background. All right, I need a new layer that I am going to sketch on, so I'm just going to call it sketch. And then I have sketch, layer 1 with the photo, and my background. All right, so if you're not at this point, pause me, go ahead and do it, and then come back. All right, next thing we're going to do is we are going to, so first of all, when drawing, it's best to try to train your eye to look at something, observe it, and draw from looking at it. Not all of us are born drawers, so there's several things that we can do. You can add what's called a grid. So let me show you how you would do it. So if you go into Photoshop and you go to Preferences, you can select Guides, Grid, and Slices. And underneath Grid, you can say, let's just say every, I'm going to say 6 inches. Or actually, instead of inches, let's do percent. Let's say, if I move this over, I can do preview. It might give me an option for preview. Let's say every 25% we're going to have a grid with 4 subdivisions. That may not make sense to you, but you'll see as you go along. If you click OK, I have to go up to View, and I have to do Show and Grid. All right, now this is too many, so I'm going to go back over here to my Preferences, and I'm going to go to Guide, Grid, and Slices, and I'm going to alter it a little bit. So let's try, how about 50%. You can see that it changes it on there. That might even be too big. Let's say 75%. That's a little bit better. Maybe I'll just bring my subdivisions down. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to say a grid line every 75% with 2 subdivisions. You can pick whatever color you want your lines to be. That would be this color right here. So if you want something nice and bright that shows up, you can choose that and then say OK. All right, so you now have a grid on top of this picture. So if you were to work back and forth, you could also set up a new document. So this is on the picture. This is on this picture. You could set up a new document, File, New. Sorry, there's a bit of a delay with the system this morning. I don't know why. Create, and it brings the same grid over. So I would be able to go back and forth between this and use it. I'm on the laptop, so I have to click back and forth. For you guys, you could put this side by side. What this then does is that it allows you to say, okay, in the top left square, I have a little bit of the eyelid, and it continues in the bottom of the middle, top, and then goes down. And the eyeball, the main center part of it, is in the center of this. So this grid system helps you when you're trying to draw your outlines to be able to look back and forth. If you want to use this method to help you draw it, that is a great method. Some of you are natural drawers. You can just look at the picture and draw it yourself. So I'm going to give you a third option. If you are really, really a struggler when it comes to drawing, then you can do this method right here. So I'm going to go ahead and actually take off the grid. So I'm going to go to Show and take off the grid so that I'm not looking at it for this method. Okay, the last thing you can do if you really feel like you're a horrible drawer and you need some help is to trace your contour lines. Now, here's the brush tool. I'm going to switch to the pencil tool. Remember, if I right click, I can adjust settings. And I'm just going to go ahead and start drawing. Now make sure you're drawing on, if you're using this method, make sure you're drawing on your sketch layer and not on the photograph. In fact, what I need to do is turn the opacity down on the photograph so that I can see it but still see my marks and my lines. And then I'm going to go back up to sketch and I'm going to be ready to draw. So what you're doing is laying down what's called contour lines. Contour lines are basically your outlines. It just tells you where some sort of definition or area goes. So in real life, people do not have outlines around them. So when you're drawing, the less you can do, the better. You may need it, like in this case, we're putting it on a separate layer so we can kind of see where everything should be. But when we go to add color, we're going to add it on its own layer and we won't, hopefully not see this. I am not doing eyelashes or eyebrow hair. Those are fine details, something we don't need right now. I'm just trying to get us the basic outline of where our information is going to be. So this is all skin. If I wanted to mark off eyebrows, I guess I could just by kind of giving myself, okay, this is eyebrow hair. And I'm not going to do that with the eyelashes because that would get in the way. And the rest of this is skin. So if I come down here and I turn off my picture, you can see my very beautiful drawing that would probably sell for like $1 million. All right, there we go. So now that you have this, you can bring back the opacity if you need to. I think really what helps in this case is to turn off the photograph and bring up, let me get rid of this extra one, and bring up your picture to work from. Now again, I'm on my laptop, so it's not as easy to do as for you guys on the desktop, but you want to sample your colors. I think for this case, now, if you want to work in color in this, you can. I think what's going to be easiest is if we actually made this a black and white photo. So I'm going to go to Image and Mode, and let's make this in grayscale. It's going to say discard the color information. Yes, that's great. Okay, so I want to work in black and white. I think for teaching you guys about blending and things like that, it's a little bit easier to use black and white than color. If you're adventurous, this is a practice, and you really want to try color, go for it. All right, so up here, I'm going to just choose my first tone, which is this brighter highlight. I'm going to come back over to the top. It's in this top area. And I'm going to switch from my pencil tool to my brush tool. And on your Wacom tablet, if you're holding the pen, if you click that small button at the bottom, it can get you your brush sizes to be able to change. Okay. Also, F5 will bring it up for you. And you guys know you have a ton of options. It is definitely worth your time to decide what brushes you like up front. For the most part, if you just go into general brushes, some of these soft round or hard round brushes will work for you. I'm just going to right now choose a soft round. And I'm going to pick my size to be a little bit bigger. And I'm going to come in and start laying in some color. So when you first start, you're really just laying down your color. You're not worrying about blending. It's not going to be super pretty. I'm going to go back to my picture just to see, okay, the highlight goes in here. It starts to change over here. So I'm going to switch to my eyedropper tool. I hit the I on the keyboard to do that. And I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to hit V on my keyboard for brush and come back in. Again, I'm just laying down color. One thing I did not do that I meant to tell you to do is to switch to add a new layer for your painting, and I did not do that. So I'm going to very quickly undo my paintbrush, add my new layer. Sorry about that, guys. And I'm going to call it painting. Actually, I'm going to do this as a separate layer, as just skin. Sounds gross to say that, but that's what I want to do. Okay, so now I'm ready to paint. I'm going to come in and start laying in that color. I'm going to have to go back and get my lighter highlighted color. So I'm going to come back to here, and I'm going to choose my eyedropper tool. I'm going to pick the lighter shade. I'm going to go back to my drawing, and then I'm going to start laying in the highlighted area. All right, what I want you guys to do right now is don't worry about the eye. You're not going to do any of the coloring inside the eye right now. Don't worry about the eyebrow. I really just want you to do the skin area. So you're being very careful to come in and choose the coloring. So for instance, down here, it's a very bright shade outside the eye. So when I come back to here and I switch to my brush, I need to get that really highlighted area. okay? Work on your skin. That's what our goal is for today. So I don't want you guys to get too much into the actual eyeball coloring just now. I just want you to work on the skin. When you're ready for blending, remember you can switch to the mixer brush and you can choose your size and your hardness. I'm just going to select the soft round. You can play around with these brushes a lot, guys. I'm going to pick a larger size and I'm going to come in and just work on blending some of these colors into one another. The great thing about the digital drawing tablet is the less pressure you put, it gives a very light, soft blend. So your goal is to get in there and work your skin. Again, sounds disgusting to say that. Work your skin from like medium tones to highlights to shadows all around here. We're not doing the main eye and we're not doing any eyelashes. That is all you have on your plate for today. Make sure it looks fantastic before we move on to the next step. And let me know if you have any questions.